Well, Austin, thank you so much for coming to the ballpark and take some time with us before the big race at Atlanta this weekend when we're taping it. You've been on with me before. We did it over the phone a couple years ago, so it's nice to actually do it here in person at the ballpark. So welcome. Good to have you here, man.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. It's nothing like having to use the bathroom this morning and getting to walk into the Braves locker room to take a leak. And, all my heroes have been in there and in Truist Park. And, it's special, man. Ready to talk about Braves baseball, a little racing, whatever you got on the docket.
7 years into this show, I think that might be the best opening line I've ever had a guest. 200 some episodes. I think that's the best opening line we ever had.
Crushed it. I wanted to make sure we made an impact right off.
Yeah. Well, let's start with what we're doing today. We'll get into the baseball talk and everything and racing and all that, but we're going to start with what you're doing here today. So once this show comes out, fans all over Braves country, your fans in the NASCAR world will have already seen what it is, but you're doing donuts in the outfield.
Heck yeah.
When I tell you us here in the office were amazed that our wonderful groundskeeper, Ed Mangan, was willing to let this happen, because I think Ed's a big NASCAR guy. I think that's part of the reason. We were just like, oh, we're
going for it?
He's going to let us do this? Okay. What did you think when you first heard this idea come up?
I thought it was awesome. I mean, obviously being a longtime Braves fan, having the opportunity to go out there and make the Braves outfield kind of like my playground. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We've been trying to guess, like, all right, with the weather, it's really cold. Like, will the turf really tear up? It's going to be slick. I'm like, whatever it happens, whether the field's really torn up or it's not, it's going to be awesome. So do you have any predictions? I mean, it's really cold out here today. So is it going to tear up grass, or is it just going to be sliding the whole time?
We got slick tires, so it should be all right. If the ground's hard, I think it'll be actually probably better for it. If it was like, if the ground being frozen would be better. Is it turf? Is it turf outfield?
It is.
Yeah, it'll be fine then. It shouldn't tear anything up. And
no, it's actual grass.
It's actual grass?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah,
I refer in my head. I refer to it as turf, but yeah, it's real grass.
Yeah, real grass. So it depends on how much moisture's in the grass. But I mean, it'll just imprint a little, and we'll keep on going. See what happens. I don't think we'll be like throwing grass out the back. It should be good. Just matted down.
I'm rooting for maximum chaos and destruction. I don't have to fix it, so I'm rooting for just chaos. So
okay.
Yeah, well, you'll have fun regardless.
I just got to get a little pace up and send it.
Yeah, that's right. All right, well, let's get into you growing up as a Braves fan. We touched on this last time you were on. That was a couple years back, but I wanted to get into it, especially for folks that watch our show on YouTube and didn't get a chance to learn about it last time. You, kind of like me, I mean, I think you grew up in the NASCAR world. Braves country and NASCAR, the garage, they're kind of synonymous. There's always been a lot of crossover there. So what first got you into Braves baseball as a kid?
Yeah, I think my grandfather took me and my brother to a game, and I remember coming and getting, a baseball autographed by a bunch of Braves players. Dale and my grandfather were friends with a lot of them, and, the coolest autograph was getting Hank Aaron to sign a baseball, because he didn't really sign a lot. So we were able to get one of those walking into the old Braves Stadium. And then, Chipper Jones was always at the track when I was young. I took him for a tour around Daytona when I was I bet I was 11, 12 years old, pretty young, and getting to show those guys around, and kind of knew my way around the garage at a young age. And I was a huge Chipper Jones fan. So
yeah, same. And Chipper's still a big NASCAR guy. I love to see it. He was actually up at Bristol for the announcement of the Speedway Classic, which is, of course, the main reason we're here having some fun in the outfield today, talking about the Speedway Classic. Let's get into that real quick. What do you think about the Braves and the Reds playing a game like actually at Bristol Motor Speedway, at any NASCAR track to begin with, but Bristol in particular is really cool. So what do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I'm like super bummed because we're in Iowa Speedway the same weekend. I do love that track, but man, Bristol is the ultimate gladiator dome. When you walk in there to race, you feel like a gladiator, like you're going to war. And, the ability from the fan standpoint to look down on a game, I don't think there's going to be anything really cooler than that. The setup, the way the outfield's going to look, and the guy's going to be hitting into this just giant wall of stands where people will be sitting and enjoying the game. I'm really excited to see how it turns out, and hopefully I get to go to a game one day, and I think Jerry and all the people at Bristol Motor Speedway and obviously the Atlanta Braves organization putting this together, it's going to be special.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to it. I can't wait. When we first heard that it was even a possibility, kind of like when we heard we were going to be able to let you do donuts in the outfield, we were all just super pumped. So
I mean, Braves country is right there too in Tennessee. I mean, from being from North Carolina to Atlanta, and that Tennessee area, all my friends in these areas are Braves fans, and because that's your team. You don't really have a team you go way down south, but I mean, Braves are people. You know what I mean? So having Bristol be that like connection between all this, I think it's great area.
it really is. When I was, me and my dad, and my wife went to Darlington for Throwback Weekend a couple years ago, and one of Dale Jr.'s cars had a throwback paint scheme to my dad's scheme. And what was cool for me now as a Braves employee, lifelong Braves fan, but as an employee, was once some of the pit crew guys like found out I worked for the Braves, they were coming up to me and wanting to know. I think Olsen was the new guy at the time. They were wanting to know what Olsen was like and what we thought about him and all this stuff. And I was blown away because I'm just a guy that works for the Braves. But all of these NASCAR guys are wanting to know, just talked about the Braves, and it made me feel good because I'm like, oh, this is like when I was a kid in the 90s growing up in the garage. Everybody talked about the Braves.
Yep.
We all watched the Braves on TV at night, and then everybody's talking about them the next day. So
For sure.
it's good to know that's still, like, I know you're keeping up with the Braves during the season. There's other drivers and pit crew guys. How much are you able to watch during the season? Because your
It's kind of
schedule's
handy,
crazy.
really, because after practice or after qualifying, after I get done looking at notes and the stuff for our race, I like to, that's kind of my like bring everything back down, coming off of adrenaline rush of getting in a race car, is to watch a Braves game. Just sit back and enjoy the game after dinner or during dinner and cheer on my team. So, I'm pretty in depth in it because it comes on at a good time for us on Saturday evenings usually. While I'm at the track or even a Friday evening. So it just depends. Mostly in the afternoons, I get to watch the games.
Okay. Do you have a favorite right now? Current team?
Current baseball team?
Yeah, for current player on the baseball team. Sorry, favorite player.
My team's easy. That's the Braves, maybe. Current player, I tell you, I've enjoyed Strider pitching. Obviously, he brings a lot of juice to the team, I feel like, when he's out there. From a position like Michael Harris, I love how fast he is. He plays the game fast, and I like that. Travis d'Arnaud, obviously losing him, it stings a little because I always loved his clutch ability. But we've got a great group of players at the Braves right now, and a good core, and we'll see how everything turns out. And then getting Chris Sale last year, that was an epic get. Having Acuna come back, always been an Albies fan. I mean, there's no one on the Braves that I'm not a huge fan of, really. But I'd say Michael Harris is probably my favorite right now, just the way he plays the game.
That's what I love about our team is there's so many great options, and then working with the team, getting to be around the guys a little bit, it's like, oh, they're actually really good dudes, too. And that makes it especially easier to want to root for them when you got good players but good people off the field, too. What is your favorite all-time Braves memory as a fan?
Yeah, definitely winning the World Series a couple years back, being at one of the games here at home. I was at the game when Ian Anderson, was it it was a shutout, right? It was
He pitched lights out. Yeah.
And it was drizzling rain. Me and my buddies came up here for the day into the game, and we win the game, and I actually talked to Schiller after the game, and was like, hey, that was awesome. And we were already outside the stadium. He's like, well, come celebrate with us inside. I'm like, we're outside. He's like, get back in. So I figured out a way to get back in and went down underneath the dugout and got to celebrate with him. And Andrew Jones was in there, which I'm a huge fan of. That was my team too, was for Call, Andrew Jones, Chipper, Javi Lopez. I knew all those guys. So, not know them, but I was a huge fan of them all when I was playing baseball. So it was cool to hang out with Andrew Jones and celebrate a World Series win in the dugout for the Braves.
So you mentioned you play in baseball. I definitely wanted to ask you about that, and I've seen the pictures. So you were not just a little leaguer. You played in the Little League World Series in 2002, is that right?
That's right.
Okay, so what was that experience like?
It was fun. Obviously learning the fundamentals of baseball, it all starts right there, and had a very good coach. Taught me a lot about, the game and how to play the game right. And that's what we were good at. We were just good at the fundamentals, not making mistakes, and very good defensive team. I wasn't a great hitter, but I was really good at, playing in the field and played second base and got on base a lot, but not from power or anything, but just getting on, any way possible. And our group was just a solid group of guys, and we learned like a lot of work ethic. Obviously, 2-a-days on Saturdays at 12 years old, that was a lot, but I enjoyed it, and really look back at that experience as like one of the best experiences of my life.
I was going to ask you, were there any to make it to the Little League World Series? It's one heck of a feat. So there had to have been some great lessons there. Were there any life lessons or just lessons from Little League baseball that later got applied to your racing career, you think?
For sure, the team aspect of it, and how to learn how to be a part of a team, and doing your job, showing up and being good at your job, and the competitiveness of it all was built right there at 12 years old.
Yeah. I did want to ask, for the folks watching the show on YouTube, the helmet that you're going to wear today for today's shoot is unreal. I snuck a couple pictures of it before you got here, and was sending it around to some folks in the office, and everybody was losing their mind. So how you feel about that helmet?
It's awesome. Obviously you see the Braves logo on the side of it, you know what it's for, that big A, and hopefully I've been taking Ace and shoving the Braves in his face as much as possible. He knows that's our team, and so he's here with me today too. And when you get in the race car, he's going to probably ask questions about why do we have a Braves helmet on at the race, but it makes all sense when you become a Braves fan.
Yeah, you already got ahead of one of my other questions. I was going to say, are you making Ace watch baseball now? You have to be, right? Yeah.
Heck yeah. And hopefully T-ball is for too long, but we'll take our time. He's only 4.
You gave him a name that's it works for both baseball and racing. Like, here's any number of...
And the Braves.
Yeah.
I mean, the A just works well for him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, talking a little NASCAR, as we're taping this, we had Daytona last weekend, and you got Atlanta coming up this weekend. How are you guys feeling coming into this season? I felt like there's a lot of positive momentum for you guys. I watch every week. I'm a Braves guy, but I'm a NASCAR fan still. I felt like you guys, the second half of last year, you could really tell y'all were getting some good momentum going. Your new president, Mike Verlander, is a friend of mine.
Okay.
So really excited for all you guys and rooting for you guys. It seems like from the outside looking in, there's a lot of positive momentum at RCR. So how are you guys feeling coming into the 25 season?
Very good. I was really proud of our guys and our engine shop at RCR for the products that we brought to Daytona. Those cars were fast, and made a couple mistakes late in that race. But, man, when you're winding down with 15 to go, we're sitting 3rd and 4th. I thought we were probably in the best position we could be from an execution standpoint. And then when the cautions start happening, those are choices that you look back and like, man, I wish I could have done that. I wish I could have done this. But in the end, hindsight's 20/20. It's Daytona, and looking back, like I said, I'd like to do a few things different, but at least the pace was there in the car. We had an opportunity, and I feel the same way about this weekend in Atlanta. Bring the same type of race car and go get it.
Awesome. Well, hopefully, come November, this is what I want. I want to see the 3-car in the Final Four at Phoenix.
That's right.
And I want to. You know what? I don't know what the exact dates are, but here's my perfect weekend. On Friday, I'm in the 2025 World Series parade going through Atlanta, and then on Sunday, I'm watching the 3-car win a title at Phoenix. So let's put it in the universe, right?
Let's speak it into existence, because that's what I'm here for. That's what I want to do. I want to be the first to win all 3 championships. We have not been close enough to that Final Four in a while, and I want to get my grandfather another championship in Welcome, North Carolina.
We love it. Well, thanks so much for taking the time, Austin, and have fun out there today.
Thanks, bud.